Truth bombs he drops. Get you a Sith Lord who can do both.
So I don't know, there's like a bunch of really relevant stuff in that book to what's happening now, so you should check it out.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to Last Week in Star Wars. I'm Alex.
I'm Molly.
And we're going to talk about all the Star Wars news of the past week, the new comics and stuff that came out, and also some Disney-related news that happened this past week. But let's start with Starfighter and the first image that was shared by Sean Levy.
I just want to say, it never fails. One of us is not home and something like this gets dropped. Not that this was huge news or anything. It was cool to see, but it was like I had been home all week, and like as soon as I left the house to go do something, this image got posted, and I was like at the pharmacy like, oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't huge news, but yeah, it's fun to see. And it was still a surprise because the past 6 years, we've had none of this. We've had no little teases of films on the horizon because there haven't been any films on the horizon.
I just enjoyed that this was a well-lit picture. The last one we saw was all black and white, and it was moody, and I was kind of like squinting to see what they looked like and what the ship looked like, but we got a solid look at our two main stars.
Right. I mean, there was still the way Ryan Gosling is like leaning on those handlebars, covering up his whole shirt, and like you got a good look at his pants, and I liked his pants.
All we want to see is Ryan Gosling's
pants. Just show me Ryan's pants. It's got the red accents on black. It reminded me a lot of Han Solo's navy blue and red look in A New Hope.
It's just begging for a cool jacket to go with them.
We're on a water world. They've got sets of handlebars, which makes me think they're probably filming something on speeder bikes or space Sea-Doos or
space wave runners.
Something like that, yeah. The water made you think of Castellan, which I thought was a good observation.
Yeah. A couple other people said the same thing I was seeing on social media, but the idea of this we keep comparing it to Top Gun for no real reason other than we liked Top Gun Maverick, but the idea of this movie being about like racing is kind of fun and cool. Like if Ryan Gosling's character is some sort of racer, I think that would be fun because everyone's kind of always asking for more like pod racing stuff. And we talked about the multi-reality game that's coming, but a movie involving racing would be a lot of fun. So that made me think of Star Wars Resistance and the Colossus and the Starfighter races that they did there. So I think that would be really cool.
Did you see Brian Ward, who does our thumbnails?
I did.
Photoshopped the rings and the ships and everything.
Fantastic job.
Great work, Brian, as usual. There is a reason that we keep comparing it to Top Gun, though. I mean, I do think that this is probably going to take some ideas that were developed for Rogue Squadron. The cinematographer is the same as the guy who shot Top Gun Maverick.
Mm-hmm.
Sean also, the caption was like somewhere in the Mediterranean, which is similar to Top Gun 1. They keep it, and Top Gun Maverick, they keep the enemy vague. They keep the locations vague because they don't want to just be like fighting Russians.
Yeah. Well, the caption on Sean Levy's Instagram post was somewhere in the Mediterranean Sea, which I guess is where they're filming. And then a couple people were like, oh, that's kind of similar to somewhere in the Indian Ocean or something like that, which is how Top Gun kind of starts out, of giving you like a vague location. So there could be a hint there.
Yeah, I do think that there are some Top Gun connections. I think that some of that is purposeful. And I'm hoping that, it's not just Top Gun Maverick in space, because Top Gun Maverick was already Star Wars on Earth in a lot of ways.
And it's very heavily like military related.
Right.
So I don't know that would work.
I mean, I kind of see it as there might be a new developing new republic. Who knows? We don't know what the government situation is going to be like. But just to keep it different, I really like the idea that Ryan might be a very talented pilot that just didn't cut it for the Top Gun of Star Wars. Mm-hmm. And so now he's racing or doing something else and he's not really fulfilled. But whatever happens to him, like he goes on a mission that he finds fulfilling. Maybe he tries out for Top Gun in space again. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think up a character arc based off of one image.
I enjoyed all the people comparing it to the Barbie movie and saying maybe his job really is beach.
Yeah.
In all of his movies. But then that got me thinking today, actually. I was thinking about the beach idea and I was like, maybe because he looks kind of rough in the picture, like he looks a little scuffed up. I was like, what if he had just crash landed and that kid was like helping him escape someone that was maybe chasing him? Maybe because the movie's called Starfighter, maybe it's about him like fixing up his Starfighter or like getting a new one, winning a new one in a race. I'm curious how the kid is involved.
Right. And again, based off of one image that's behind the scenes and not part of the movie, I was getting the sense that maybe they're family or like at least friendly. Like they seemed really comfortable with one another. They're riding bikes together or something. Sure. So I get the sense that they're not strangers, but this could be at the end of the movie. We don't know. Like just because it's the first image released doesn't mean they're shooting it in order.
I wonder if the kid is like some sort of kid genius when it comes to like building and repairing starfighters or like any kind of like mechanical stuff.
Could be.
And Ryan Gosling's just an idiot and knows how to fly one. He doesn't know how to build it.
Ryan Gosling plays a delightful himbo.
Yeah, he does.
Whether it's Barbie or The Nice Guys or...
The Nice Guys is a good one too because there is a kid involved.
Yeah. His daughter in that is great. That movie's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't know anything based off of this picture, but it's fun to speculate regardless. This is just reminding me of the times when movies were coming out and people weren't crazy super secretive about everything. Like we haven't seen anything for The Mandalorian and Grogu yet, but at least we're like starting to get teased for Starfighter, and it is working. It's building up some hype for me.
Yeah. I saw people questioning why we were getting teases for this and nothing for Mando and Grogu, but I feel like that's because they don't really have to sell Mando and Grogu as much as they will have to sell a new Star Wars movie about nothing that anyone knows about. Plenty of people already know about Mandalorian and Grogu, so I feel like they're safe there.
I don't know. I feel like they are going to have to really push it, and at least to make people know when it's coming out, because I bet most of the regs don't know.
But we have plenty of time for that.
Yeah, but people just are so choosy about what they go to the theater to see now. I don't know. I feel like The Mandalorian and Grogu is not going to be a definite 100% surefire hit. They probably need to start talking about it.
Do we know what else is coming out in May 2026?
I think one of the Avengers movies was going to come out and then they pushed it. Thank God. Like we didn't want to have to go through Solo.
They learned their lesson.
Infinity
hopefully.
War thing again.
I do think overall, seeing that it's Sean Levy, I feel like this movie is going to be a really safe movie for them. Safe storytelling, safe characters. I don't think they're going to take any big swings.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we've been thinking since he was announced as the director. Like, Deadpool and Wolverine, other than being rated R, was pretty safe, a pretty sure bet. Free Guy was full of like pop culture references and stuff. It just so was Deadpool, right? They give off a certain vibe, but it'll be interesting because Star Wars, you can't do that.
Yeah, a lot of the jokes were like very tongue in cheek and very like relevant and like kid and meme and internet friendly. I still think it'll feel safe, but hopefully, like we talked about last week, they'll punch it up and like really make a solid action Star Wars film that's going to be fun.
Right. And I mean, I liked Deadpool and Wolverine well enough. Free Guy was fine, but like, yeah, I want a Star Wars movie to be more than fine. I don't want it to be just like across the board safe. But yeah, I think it'll be an interesting challenge. Also, this past week, the Emmys were on Sunday, and Andor won a 5th Emmy for writing, which was great. I was really hoping that if I could only have chosen one Emmy for it to win, I would have wanted it to be for writing, because I thought they wrote the hell out of that show.
Yeah, this is a very solid, respectable category for a Star Wars to win. And what I mean by that is like, yeah, Star Wars, they have ILM, special effects, costumes, makeup, stuff like that, like
sound design, sound editing. They win those a lot.
Yeah, they're known for knocking that stuff out of the park. Writing, I feel like that got a lot of people's attention and was like, oh, interesting.
I agree. It's so rare, it feels, that genre films and TV shows are recognized for anything other than the technical side of things. Like, I remember Return of the King winning everything it was nominated for, and that just feeling so good.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in 2003. We're over 20 years later, and it's like, it still kind of feels like people look down their nose at space fantasy, sci-fi, fantasy, whatever.
Which is crazy because they're the movies and the shows that are like bringing them the most money.
I think sometimes people can equate like commercial success with, oh, well, it's not artsy enough. I don't know. That did get me hopeful that I was like, oh my God, maybe it'll win Best Drama. And it lost to The Pit, which we have not seen. I did a video about this already. We haven't seen The Pit. I've only been told that it's great.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's great. We do want to watch it.
I've never been into medical dramas, so that's why I was kind of like being whiny about it. But also, yeah, we've never seen it, so it could be incredible. We don't know.
It's funny. We're more into medical comedies. We like Scrubs. We like St. Dennis.
Yeah, I'm really into things that make me happy right now.
Yeah.
I really need that.
But I was disappointed and frustrated just because it's like, we've had shows like The Pit before. People corrected me and said it's unlike any other medical drama. I'm like, okay, like, again, my interest is piqued, but I was hopeful that something genre would take Best Drama. I was hopeful for Andor. But...
Yeah. Well, I mean, and we talked about this before. We were hoping that, I don't know, Genevieve O'Reilly would get nominated.
Yeah, it was upsetting that like so many White Lotus actors were nominated and not a single one of them won, from what I can recall.
I was really happy for the Penguin.
She was great. Kristen Milotti.
Yeah, she nailed that role.
Yeah, that was very deserving. And I'm happy that Andor won for writing because that was one of my favorite episodes of the series.
Yeah, so it won specifically for an episode.
Welcome to the Rebellion. So
okay.
The one about Mon Mothma delivering the speech about resisting the monster who screams the loudest and the monster that's going to come for us all.
Right, and it's interesting because they were really pushing episode 8 because of how big it was.
That they pushed for directing and best song and production design. Yeah.
But then I felt like when they were doing the big award push, I was like, push 9. 9 is, I think I like 9 more than 8.
It's interesting, the release schedule, they put them all out together. So they all very much run together in my mind. But yeah, like that was the moment I was waiting for. It's weird to say I was excited for the Gorman Massacre, but like that was a moment we knew it was coming.
Yeah.
But I was more excited for Mothma's speech because that is just a moment in history that is not a massacre and would hopefully be a little more uplifting. And yeah, it did make me pump my fist.
Yeah, it was more tense because, like you said, we were expecting a massacre at some point, but we didn't know how Mon Mothma was going to get out of the Senate after doing her speech.
So all that said, it is frustrating this past week to see Disney pushing that episode so hard, pushing the series so hard. Clearly, they were very proud of it and wanted it to win Emmys, and it did. And they're like, yay, celebrating Andor. And then to see them bend the knee to the monster screaming the loudest very quickly has been upsetting and disappointing, to say the least.
Oh, yeah. And I hate to say it, but I'm not surprised. A lot of things that Disney, as the huge conglomerate corporation that they are, a lot of things that they do that upset me also don't surprise me.
It's a really confusing time to be a Star Wars fan where you want to celebrate the creatives and the people who work so hard, and then you have the corporation that owns the franchise that is happy to throw out their Pride merchandise when it suits them, but edit out a queer kiss when the movie goes overseas. And this is like the same frustrating kind of thing, to really applaud this series that has a very specific message and then turn around and do the opposite.
Yeah. And like every one of Tony Gilroy's interviews and Dan Gilroy's post-Emmy interviews, people are asking and talking about how relevant the story of Andor is to what's happening today. And, they find ways to kind of scoot around that and be diplomatic, but essentially, a lot of the times they're saying, we are students of history. We've seen this stuff before. We're seeing it now. We'll see it again.
All of this has happened before. All of it will happen to begin. Not to bring in Battlestar Galactica, but there it is.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder that there's a stark difference between the creatives who make Star Wars and who bring us the joy and those pinpricks of light and hope that Skeleton Crew talked about. There's a difference between them and the corporation who owns Star Wars, and there's a reason the corporations always seem to side with the Sith in Star Wars.
They give in to fear.
They give in to greed.
Sort of relevant to what's going on, I was flipping through The Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire by Chris Kimshaw. It's a great kind of in-universe telling of Star Wars history. And there's a section in there talking about when the Empire's first created, the New Order, as Palpatine kind of calls it. And they created a group called Compnor, which is the Commission for the Protection of the New Order. And essentially, I'll read the actual quote here. Compnor created a very narrow definition regarding acceptable art, music, or performances that could be held or showcased in public. The result was a funding collapse in artistic pursuits and the blacklisting of some extremely high-profile artists, performers, and musicians who fell afoul to the new regulations. So I don't know, there's a bunch of really relevant stuff in that book to what's happening now, so you should check it out.
Fall is here, and with it comes cooler nights, heartier meals, and the craving for something warm and satisfying. That's where HelloFresh comes in, bringing you comforting, chef-designed recipes and fresh, seasonal ingredients right to your door. This season, they've taken things to the next level with their biggest menu refresh yet. Say hello to a whole new way to do dinner. HelloFresh has doubled its menu. Now you can choose from 100 options each week, including new seasonal dishes and recipes from around the world. Dig into bigger portions that'll keep everyone satisfied. Feel great with an even healthier menu filled with high-protein and veggie-packed recipes. HelloFresh now helps you eat greener with new veggie-packed recipes that have 2 or more veggies. There's also 3 times more seafood on the menu now at no extra cost. Discover new seasonal produce each week, from snap peas to stone fruit to corn on the cob and more. Molly and I have tried HelloFresh, and having a meal subscription box has been fantastic for our schedule. The ability to choose meals and have them delivered to our door has saved us time, money, and mental energy. The best way to cook just got better. Go to HelloFresh.com/StarWars10FM now to get 10 free meals plus a free item for life. 1 per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box, new subscribers only, varies by plan. That's HelloFresh.com/StarWars10FM to get 10 free meals plus a free item for life. But moving into last week in canon, we're going to talk about Rebuild the Galaxy and the 2 new comic issues that came out this week. It was a lot of fun. I actually also think it's relevant to what's going on right now. I thought the villain was great and just shows that when you try to control everything and everyone, you end up alone in solitude, like Solitus.
Mm-hmm. Great storytelling from Disney.
Wish you were paying attention to even your children's programs.
This new season, I think, does offer a lot of good messages, and I think is relevant and will be interesting and fun for both kids and adults.
It is technically not canon, so, Darth Revan being in this doesn't mean that Revan is canon. There's a fun name call out that I guess I won't spoil in case you haven't seen it yet. Mm-hmm. That doesn't make those characters canon. I'll just throw that out there. But it is still fun. It was just a fun, goofy watch like all the Lego specials are.
Yeah, I kept seeing articles pop up about the return of Revan. And because we had seen the show already, we got an advanced copy for you to do your review. And I was kind of just giggling to myself because Revan doesn't have any lines, doesn't say a word. And there's even a joke about that in the show.
Not much of a talker.
Not much of a talker. So it's fun that they were in there, but no dialogue.
Exactly. I think it's perfect. I think that's how Revan should be handled, especially in situations like this. If down the line there is going to be a canon version of Revan, they can define Revan. But for now, Revan is someone that was created through video games and through the player, and could be male, could be female. So letting that person behind the mask be whoever the player created. Like, that might as well be my Revan.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Right. My Revan didn't speak.
My Revan was mute. Someone did throw out the idea I saw online that it would have been fun if there were little dialogue options for Revan to choose from in the show.
That would have
been funny.
That would be cool.
I bet that's something they threw around, but
yeah, if they bring Revan back for whatever, it needs to be like a choose your own adventure but on television thing where you have to pause and pick options.
If they ever make that KOTOR remake, I mean,
yeah.
Moving into comics, I figured first we would talk about Star Wars issue number 5. So in this one, we learn a little bit more about the Fenrir Consortium, this new criminal syndicate, and
I read this and I don't remember that.
Yeah, we'll get into that. They're gearing up to attack the New Republic. Meanwhile, Luke, Han, and Valance fight against battle droids and then find clone armor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not vibing with this series, unfortunately.
Well, it felt strange for everyone to be so worried about Luke fighting clankers when he's got a lightsaber, and we were kind of like, I mean, Luke's probably fine. He's fine.
The whole situation was just treated strangely, where they're like surrounded and everyone is acting really worried, but every frame is them like, oh gosh, we're in trouble, and Luke's cutting 5 battle droids in half,
mowing them.
Valance is just blowing battle droids away. Like, then the battle droids took one of them and she got away fine. Like, there was no real tension in the whole thing. And then they get away, and then they find clone armor, and they're like, oh, thank goodness.
Game changer.
And I'm like, what is that going to do for you? Like, A, you were already doing fine. B, when has clone armor, like, ever helped anyone? When has that saved lives?
That's a good point.
And the cover for the next comic is Luke and Valance and Han in clone armor. And I'm like, this all just feels like it's for the vibes. Like, it'll just be cool if Luke wears clone trooper armor.
Yeah. And they put out some of these covers a long time ago, and we saw the cover of them in the clone armor, and we were like, ooh.
Yeah, I mean, it is a cool image, but the story behind it is just confusing and muddled. And that's the big thing for me, is like the Fenrir Consortium is being led by Reyna Ascure, who's from the Jakku comics, and it just isn't coming together for me. It's really convoluted, and I'm like, y'all should have started simpler and like introduced some of these ideas a little more smoothly, because right now I'm just like, I don't fully know what's going on. I don't fully get the Fenrir Consortium or what they're up to or why they're attacking the New Republic. I don't know.
I
don't want to be too whiny about it, but it's not doing it for me.
I think there was some stuff between Leia and Mon Mothma, though.
Yeah, they had a little talk, and then someone rushes in and is like, the Fenrir Consortium is attacking.
Yeah. But, I mean, anytime Leia and Mon Mothma get to have a talk in anything, that gets me excited, so that was fun.
I like the art. Phil Noto's art is always good.
We'll see where it goes. Maybe the next issue will be incredible.
Maybe this is super special clone armor that we've never seen before.
It's kind of blue, isn't it? It's got, like, blue on it.
I think so.
Fun. Wow. It's so blue.
Look how blue it is. The other issue that came out was the first issue of Boba Fett, Black, White, and Red. In this one, Boba pulls a prisoner out of a Narkina-style prison. There was a bounty on that guy from a criminal syndicate. They just like wanted to have him so they could watch him die.
Yeah.
But then the syndicate turns Boba over to the Empire, and then he pits them against like some militant rebels. And like the story of this one, I was like, okay. I always think when they do these Black, White, and Red series, it's all about the art. Like the art is always really good.
Yeah, this one's definitely about the art and about the vibes, but like purposefully about the vibes. This one was fun to read. This kind of felt like backtracking the Boba Fett story a little bit, since now we know so much because of the show, Book of Boba Fett. This was kind of bringing it back to cool guy
right.
Boba Fett, who like can't be touched, super badass, like doing all this stuff and like outsmarting everybody and pitting everyone against each other. So if you're a fan of like old school cool guy Boba Fett, I guess you would like this.
Well, yeah, there is definitely a dividing line for Boba Fett, I feel, and it's the Sarlacc pit, where before that, and it's probably like post Empire, you know, he's trying to figure things out at the end of the Clone Wars, but once he gets the Mandalorian armor, that is Boba Fett with the badass reputation, kicking ass, taking names. Like, there's that version of Boba Fett, and then the post Return of the Jedi Boba Fett is the redemption arc.
Yeah.
Boba, who learns to be a better person and realizes that that way of life gets you into the pit. This one was still fun to read. Like, the Black, White, and Red series, those issues, I enjoy them well enough, but I'm not like going back to them. But I find that I pay attention to the art so much more. I think that the restrictions of only using 3 colors lead to some really great artwork.
Yeah, it's very stylized and fun. And it makes it seem more violent and bloody, I guess, because the only color is red.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a reason they only do these for villains. It's Darth Vader, Darth Maul, now Boba Fett. I only just realized that this isn't only a Star Wars thing. I don't read many comics outside of Star Wars, but I saw that there was a Marvel version of this for like Thanos or something. And I was like, oh wow, I didn't know that. But moving into our last segment, Last Week in Questions, Eve asks, what non-Andor Star Wars speeches do we think are Emmy or Oscar worthy?
Ooh, non-Andor. I mean, there's so many in Andor that come up for me.
Star Wars doesn't tend to be known for its monologues, so that's why the first one I thought of was the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise.
Sure.
I mean, I do think that is Ian McDiarmid just getting to really be an actor.
Yeah, he really gets to enunciate.
Yeah, like a lot of times he's got the makeup on and he's chewing scenery and he's cackling. Get you a Sith Lord who can do both.
That's such a big kind of like juicy moment because it's just Palpatine and Anakin, and we're seeing his like true ability to seduce Anakin through this story about a character that a lot of Star Wars fans like knew about, and hearing that name, Darth Plagueis, everybody tensed up.
Yeah, it's just 2 people and only one of them is really talking, but like it's one of the most memorable scenes of Revenge of the Sith for me.
I gotta give it up to Hayden Christensen too, because he doesn't have a whole lot of lines in that scene, but you see the wheels turning. You see him making decisions in his head about what he's going to do going forward.
You can see him being manipulated.
Yeah. I will go with one that is more uplifting. I will go with Yoda's speech monologue in Dagobah.
Luminous beings are we?
Yeah. I mean, he speaks funny, but it's still a solid monologue.
And still, very memorable, and one of like the definitions of the Force. Like, if you want to go and actually think about what the Force is, like, that's the speech.
Right. And up until that moment, Yoda was kind of kooky and weird and silly, and then he like sits on a log and spouts out like the scripture,
truth bombs he drops.
Yeah, so I don't know, it's such a poignant moment in that film, but in all of Star Wars too. Like, everybody knows the do or do not, there is no try.
Pigpen asks if we think it's plausible that Phasma survived The Last Jedi, since Delilah Dawson has talked about wanting to write more for the character. And she has brought that up. I think she even brought it up at DragonCon a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. This is kind of like a throwback almost, but I think it's plausible. I mean, it's Star Wars. It's plausible that anyone survives anything. Just look at Palpatine.
Right. Palpatine, Boba Fett, Darth Maul. Like, that's my thing. If Darth Maul survives, then anyone else surviving anything is plausible. Fennec Shand, too. Shot in the stomach. Yep. Nah, robot tummy. She's fine. So, like, Phasma is kind of the Boba Fett of the sequel trilogy. Even dies a similar death. So I don't love it, but I'm like, yes, it is absolutely plausible that she survived. And if it's Delilah Dawson writing her return, then I will be like okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know, A, Dawson writes that character very well. B, I don't think she would write the character unless she was like, I have something to say and a reason, and not just because I want her to still be alive.
Right. I don't know where her character would pop back up if she did, but I'm thinking, like, if they were to go a live action route with this, Gwendolyn Christie is an incredible actress, and she's been in some really big projects since doing Phasma. So yeah, like giving her a moment to play that character without the helmet, without being part of the First Order anymore, that would be really cool to see.
That would be interesting if she, just popped up. If Gwendolyn Christie appeared in Starfighter or something, and everyone would be like, is that Phasma?
What?
Like, it'd be a little bit on edge.
Like, the voice sounds right, but we didn't really see her face.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be fun to play with. But that's it for last week in Star Wars. Next week, we're going to be covering Chaos Agent Issue 4. Until then, please like this video, subscribe to the channel.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Blue Sky.
And consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.